There is a language spoken in the wizarding world without words. A language of sparks, shields, and split-second decisions. It is the art of the duel. Many learn to cast spells, but few learn to truly fight. Today, we learn the art. All right, let's get into the first and most important secret of combat. It's not about watching your enemy. It's about watching yourself. Look closely at your character's head. You'll see colored rings appear right before an attack hits. This is your key to everything. When you see this yellow ring, it means the attack is blockable. You can just tap Protego to put up a simple shield and take no damage. That's fine. But we're not here to be fine. We're here to be great. The real art is in the timing. Wait until the very last moment, right as the spell is about to hit you, and then tap Protego. That's a perfect parry. It creates a much bigger shockwave, repels enemies, and opens them up for what comes next. And now for the master stroke. If, after that perfect parry, you hold the Protego button, you'll charge and fire a powerful Stupefy curse. This automatically stuns your primary target and, more importantly, applies a curse to them, which means they'll take extra damage from all your follow-up attacks. It's a fantastic offensive move that starts with a defensive action. Now, this red ring is different. It's a warning. This attack is unblockable. I repeat, you cannot block this. Your only option is to dodge roll out of the way. Getting this timing down is the difference between surviving a tough fight and seeing the loading screen. And here's why all of this is so critical. In most fights, you're surrounded. You can't see every enemy. These rings are your sixth sense. They'll warn you about attacks coming from off-screen, from behind you, from everywhere. Mastering this defensive dance is the first step to becoming untouchable. A perfect defense buys you time. A perfect offense wins the fight. Attacking isn't just about doing damage, it's about controlling the battlefield. First, let's talk about control. In a chaotic fight, press your R3 button to lock onto a single enemy. This focuses all your attacks on them. But who do you lock onto? This is about target prioritization. My rule of thumb? Always take out the ranged attackers first, the wizards and goblins throwing spells from afar. They interrupt your combos and are the most annoying. Deal with them, then focus on the big guys up close. Now for the fun part, combos. Think of your spells as musical notes. You need to combine them to create a symphony of destruction. Let's start with two basic but deadly symphonies. For crowd control, see that group of enemies? Pull them all together with Accio, then hit them with a wide Incendio blast. Simple and brutally effective. For single targets, lift an enemy into the air with Levioso, hit them with a few basic shots, then slam them into the ground with Descendo. They won't get up. Finally, the most important rule of offense. You'll see enemies with colored shields, yellow, purple, and red. Your basic attacks won't scratch them. You must use a spell of the same color to break their shield. Yellow spells like Levioso for yellow shields, purple spells like Accio for purple, and red spells like Incendio for red. Breaking a shield not only opens the enemy up for damage, it often stuns them too. Always have one spell of each color ready to go. Okay, we've covered a lot of different spells for different situations. A huge question comes up. How are you supposed to access all of them in the heat of battle? You could pause the game, dig through the menu, and manually swap your spells, but that's clumsy. It shatters your combat rhythm. It's not the way of a master. The master's solution is elegant: spell sets. Remember, you can unlock up to 4 different spell diamonds by spending points in your core talents. Make this a top priority. Once you have them, set them up strategically. My recommendation? Set 1 Shield Breakers, your main yellow and purple spells. Set 2 Heavy Damage, your red spells and crowd control combos. Set 3 Exploration, Revelio, Lumos, Disillusionment, etc. Being able to switch between these sets in the middle of a fight with your D-pad is what separates a good duelist from a master. A prepared wizard is a victorious wizard. Beneath all the spells you learn, there is a deeper, older power flowing through you. This is your ancient magic. Let's start with its most devastating form, the finisher. Look at the blue bars in the bottom right of your screen. This is your finisher meter. You charge it by landing long, successful combos. The game rewards you for fighting with style. Once a bar is full, you can unleash a spectacular finishing move on an enemy. But be wise. Save this for the true threats, heavily armored knights, giant trolls, or the leaders of an encounter. Using this at the right moment can instantly change the tide of a difficult battle. But this finisher isn't the only way you can channel your ancient power. Look around you. The battlefield is your weapon. See those explosive barrels and crates? You'll see a prompt appear above them, R1 or RB. This is the ancient magic throw. And here's the key detail that makes this so powerful. This ability does not use your blue meter. Even though it has ancient magic in its name, think of it as a separate, regular combat spell that's always available. It's a free and spammable tool. Use it constantly to control the battlefield. Your wand is your primary weapon, but a master duelist never relies on a single tool. Your real power comes from being prepared. Let's talk about the 2 other schools of magic that will save your life: potions and herbology. Let's be clear, potions are not just for healing. They are game changers. I want you to focus on 2 of them. First, the Duelist potion. When you drink this, your skin turns to rock, making you nearly invincible for a short time. Drink this right before you know you're walking into an ambush or facing a giant troll. It lets you attack relentlessly without worrying about defense. Second, the Maxima potion. This one supercharges your spell damage. Use it just before you unleash your combos on a boss to melt their health bar. Now for my personal favorite, weaponized gardening. Don't underestimate these. The Chinese chomping cabbage is essentially a rabid living grenade that you throw and it will chase down and relentlessly bite the nearest enemy. The venomous tentacula acts like a magical turret, shooting acid at enemies from a distance. The strategy? At the start of a big fight, just throw one of each into the crowd. They create chaos, draw enemy fire, and do damage while you stand back and plan your attack. They are your disposable minions. You've mastered the mechanics, you have your tools. Now it's time to define your identity as a duelist. This happens in the Talents menu, where you will shape your unique combat style. First, let's get an overview. There are 5 paths of power you can invest in. Spells. This is for making your favorite spells even deadlier. Dark arts. This tree powers up your unforgivable curses, but a key tip, these talents are only useful if you've actually unlocked the dark spells through the story, so don't waste your points here until you have them. Core. This tree is for essential upgrades to your health, defense, and overall versatility. Stealth. For those who prefer a silent, unseen approach. And Room of Requirement. This one is for turning your potions and plants into super weapons. The great news is you can reset your points for a theme, so feel free to experiment. But it's always good to have a plan. So, regardless of your final build, here are 3 recommendations that are crucial for any powerful duelist. First, and most importantly, build your foundation in core. This tree is essential. Your absolute first priority should be the talents that unlock your extra spell sets. After that, I highly recommend picking up Swift, the talent that transforms your standard dodge roll into a fast, ethereal teleport. These two upgrades will fundamentally change how you fight. Upgrade your favorites. Look through the spells talent tree. Do you love using Incendio? There's a talent that turns it into a massive 360-degree firestorm. Do you use Levioso a lot? There's a talent that makes it lift all enemies around your target. Find the spells you enjoy and make them deadlier. You've mastered yourself, but to be truly dominant, you must also master your opponent. Every enemy type in this world is a puzzle with a unique solution. Let's briefly look at the main three. Spiders. They are terrified of fire. Incendio and Confringo will make them panic and take extra damage. And watch the big ones. When they rear up for an unblockable attack, their underside is exposed. A quick Confringo blast to the belly right in will do massive damage. Goblins. Their strength is in their weapons, so take them away. Expelliarmus doesn't just do damage, it disarms them, leaving them confused and weak. It's the most efficient way to deal with armed goblins. Dark Wizards. Their strength is in their shields. We've talked about this, but it's the key. They are most vulnerable in the moment right after their shield is broken. Break it. Then unleash your strongest combo. Don't give them a second to recover. Always be a scholar of combat. Learn their patterns, exploit their weaknesses, and you will be unstoppable. Okay, all this theory is great, but the only way to truly master the art of combat is through practice. You need a sparring partner, and Hogwarts provides the perfect place for it, the Crossed Wands Dueling Club. You'll unlock this as a side quest early in the game. Don't ignore it. This isn't just a quest, it's your personal training ground. Here you can duel against fellow students in a safe environment. It's the best place to practice your parry timing, experiment with new spell combos, and learn how to fight against different types of duelists without any real danger. Complete all rounds of the Dueling Club, not only for the rewards, but for the priceless experience. Go there and practice until the defensive dance becomes second nature. And that's our complete guide to the art of combat in Hogwarts Legacy. Hopefully these strategies will make you an unstoppable duelist. What's the most creative or deadliest spell combo you've built? Share your strategies in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, consider joining our circle. Subscribe to Gloomchant for more journeys into the dark and forgotten corners of gaming. Until next time,